Welcome to the BuildBlock Installer Series Basement Pre-Pour Review. If all of the steps outlined in the BuildBlock Installation and Technical Manual have been followed to this point, the basement walls should now be ready to pour. This quick review will ensure that we are ready to go. Footings. Before the footings are poured, verify that footings were formed as specified, making sure that all are square and set to the correct height. Make sure the horizontal reinforcement is placed as specified and a pre-pour inspection was requested. Prepare vertical dowels, making sure they are long enough from the top of the footing and are placed at the time of the pour. After the footings are poured, re-establish the layout, verify square and dimensions. Snap chalk lines and prepare to stage the materials to the walls inside the excavation. Make sure to place materials at least 6 feet back from a wall to allow for setup of a bracing and alignment system, which is installed as the wall progresses. The plan specified walls to be installed to a total height of 9 feet 4 inches and poured before the basement floor. In some instances, it may be preferable to install, level, and securely glue just the first 2 courses using foam adhesive so the basement floor can be poured before the walls are stacked higher. When pouring the floor at 2 courses, take care not to pour any of the walls at this time. This would create a cold joint below grade, which is not advisable. After the basement floor is installed, all the wall material can be staged on the basement floor. This method creates a solid and secure work area for stacking the remainder of the wall. Taking the time to pre-stage materials will save time and allow the team to concentrate on the install. Starting at the corners, work in one direction toward a common seam or opening. Place the first 2 courses of block in the horizontal reinforcement for each course. When the first 2 courses are stacked, shim and trim the wall as needed before spot gluing the wall to the footing. Spot glue only. This prevents the adhesive foam from expanding too much and shifting the wall. One time-saving method is to write the cut block sizes on the cut blocks with a marker. Also, mark on the first course the location of all vertical bar in the footing, and mark the lengths and positions of the horizontal rod. Also, mark all openings and common seam joints. In this example, with the exception of one window, all blocks on the first course are the same for courses 3, 5, and 7. This should allow you to pre-cut blocks for other courses. Remember to save cut pieces with at least 2 webs to integrate into the wall elsewhere. All of the cuts on course 2 will be the same for courses 4 and 6. All of the reinforcing may also be pre-cut. Next, the rough opening frame for the window was placed and courses 3 and 4 were installed. The Build 1 alignment and bracing system is erected per OSHA and local safety standards. Foot planks and handrails, if needed, are placed to continue. Courses 5 and 6 are then placed. Continue horizontal reinforcement as specified. Lintel steel is installed over the window, including any stirrups if needed. It is sometimes easier at this point, before the last course, to set the vertical reinforcing. Any beam pocket locations are marked and ready to install. Once the top course is installed, beam pockets placed, and the anchor bolt layout is marked on the wall, it is time to go through the pre-pour checklist. Take a few minutes to walk around the site and double-check everything. Make sure your site is clean and accessible to ready-mix trucks, pump trucks, and material delivery. Check that strapping is secure inside and out. Foam in areas that may leak concrete. Make sure your anchor bolts are on site. Take additional time to be sure the bracing is secure. Use additional stakes if there is any movement. Check that all adjustments on the bracing system work properly. Be sure all screws are at the top of the slot, just snug enough to allow a small amount of settling during the pour. Check corners for plumb, and that the walls are slightly adjusted inward toward the brace. This is optional, but will make straightening the wall much easier. It is much easier to push on the brace than to pull on the screws. Check that vertical reinforcing lines up with the footing dowels to stay within the non-contact lap specifications. Ensure the vertical reinforcing is placed between the horizontal rebar to properly hold it in alignment. Additional considerations. Check the wall for level and plumb. Install a string line for straightening the wall after the pour. Inspect all opening supports. Make sure openings have access holes on the bottom to inspect and ensure proper concrete consolidation. Double check all openings for square. Make sure all strapping is in place across seams or potential problem areas such as openings, near corners, or vertical joints closer than 8 inches in the wall. Check and install all service penetrations. Add additional support if penetrations cut through webs or compromise the structural integrity of a block. If everything checks out, your project is now ready to pour. Take note that most areas require a footing inspection and a wall inspection before each is poured. We hope this video is helpful and informative to allow you a stress-free ICF project.